Hi, my name's Shawn Taylor. This is my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. Definitely fame by this point. You'll be at 1,000 subscribers, no question. That's fame in my eyes. I don't know 1,000 people. So
it's big. I'm appreciative of it.
We have been hanging out in this basement for a while, and we needed to end with a palate cleanser
because like 4 hours.
We did. We just watched the movie and did the reactions. Not any good movie, the actual bad one, and kind of caught our reactions. And then we just did a review of the movie, which, as you can imagine, was pretty similar. But it's all right because we're gonna end with a palate cleanser, end on a positive note. In fact, a very positive note, because we're gonna talk about our top 5 episodes from Book to Earth. And I don't know how else to lead into it other than that it is one of the 3 best books of my favorite television show. What else do you say?
And that's still we'll talk about this at some point at time. I still might hold it as better than book 3, but we're gonna be able to, after we're done, we're gonna be able to objectively say which one is better once we combine all of our scores.
We will be able to objectively argue about which one is better. Yes. But I am really looking forward to that conversation, and we have another expert that I think we'll have to loop in for that one, as I think she'll be very disappointed if we don't.
She'll probably be wrong.
Or she'll probably agree with me, which is kind of nice to have for once.
I do think she agrees with you more than me on a lot of stuff.
I think she agrees with me on more meaningless stuff, but then on like actual impactful things like Zuko's character arc and things like she definitely takes your side. So it's nice in this potential discussion when we have it that I feel like she'll be more on my side. But she's also very insightful, so maybe she'll rewatch and change her mind.
Yeah.
But we'll do that after we're done with all the seasons. All I know is that book 1, we're really sorry. Nobody's probably going to defend book 1. It's still great.
Still great.
And maybe, I mean, that first finale of book 1, those 2 episodes they're fantastic. So, way to go out with a bang, book 1. We still love you. But we're now on to book 2, which was a much more interesting full slate of episodes to pick for here. And I think it turned into 10 pretty good picks. 10, what do we have unique picks like?
We have
7 unique episodes between. So little dissension, but not too much craziness. I don't really have much other lead in. Do you just want to get started?
No, let's get started.
All right, let's do it.
At my number 5, it is the episode The Guru, and it had a 9.1 score for me. Absolutely love this episode, mostly all just because of Aang's arc. I just love that moment of gosh, when the guru tells him that, like, yes, Aang has felt a great deal of pain, and he used to know love, but love is like energy. It can never be taken away. It just transforms into new love, and the picture of Katara there. That moment, it just means so much to the character of Aang. Gosh, just thinking about it makes me hate that I just watched that movie.
All those great things that you just said, totally inapplicable to the movie.
Gosh, never mind. I'm sorry. The movie didn't have, like, when Aang wakes up, right, and Katara's the first thing he sees. It didn't have that in there, and that is fairly, I feel like it's vital to that character.
I think we said something on the lines of you can pretty much throw out Katara and Sokka and not miss a whole lot.
Yes.
That remains true.
But yeah, okay, that's my number 5.
That's a great number 5. Like, if that's your number 5, and we really enjoyed that episode, that has to say good things. You might be less inspired by my number 5, which is whatever. I love it. It's the Blind Bandit, and so it's where they see Toph essentially in the wrestling ring with the boulder and the other bad guys, and it's just my kind of episode. And that it's a little goofy and yet very impactful. Like, long-term impactful things happen in the episode that are meaningful and make it memorable. But the episode itself is pretty goofy and lighthearted. But it's a lot of fun, and you get introduced to Toph in a very appropriate way.
It's Toph.
I was going to say, what you get with Toph right away is pretty much what Toph remains for the moment. She has great arc. Not great. Yeah. She has some arc throughout the series, but it's just a really good first impression of Toph.
When you're Toph, you don't need an arc, right? You come fully assembled.
You do, and I think it makes you appreciate when actually she has, like, arc development pieces. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, that's coming from Toph. That's got to count like double. Yeah. So it's just a really nice introduction to who Toph actually is going to be, and you get that air of mystery and goofy fighting and all that stuff. I love it. It's a Shawn episode.
Yeah, it didn't make my list, but it is definitely one of the most memorable episodes.
It didn't make your list, but we had somewhat similar scores. I think yours was like an 8.5 and mine was an 8.7. So you just generally had a few higher scoring things. So it was similarly scoring at least.
All right. Number 4 for me is The Crossroads of Destiny, which is weird to say because I don't think
harsh,
into this, I would thought The Crossroads of Destiny would have been number 4. It's fairly low for the.
But you had a tie here.
Oh, okay.
You did have a 3-4 tie, and I used our overall scores to break the tie. So it just means that I rated.
Looking at what's number 3, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Which is probably completely.
Am I thinking of this backwards? No, that wasn't a tie. Those were separated. You had a tie at 4-5.
Oh, okay.
But that's surprised. So the Crossroads of Destiny, it means I liked Crossroads of Destiny on my side slightly more than the Guru.
But yeah, Crossroads of Destiny it's a really great finale. We talked about before, like it's the Star Wars finale where you end on just the most somberest of notes. Like the stakes have been raised. Also, maybe the stakes have just been cut out because they took Ba Sing Se.
Stakes are done. They're overdone.
Yeah. Done's up. Right. So where do our heroes go from there? You just leave the heroes in such a very peculiar spot for so many different reasons. Also just great animation, great fighting. Such a terrific fight between Aang and Azula versus Aang and Katara versus Azula and Zuko. That's just done so really well. So that one got a 9.1 as well.
My number 4, if I could take it back, I'd probably score it a little lower, but it's not even as impactful as, say, the previous episode. But mine was The Cave of Two Lovers.
The least impactful on this list.
It is easily the least important and meaningful episode on this whole list. It's almost strictly goofy, but you get some very nice emotional tension in between Aang and Katara. I guess you could call it character development to an extent, but it's more of a relationship development, and that's a ship that I really pull for. Just the main ship, the only ship that matters. And again, that's just kind of a Shawn episode. It's pretty goofy, pretty lighthearted. But I also love the badger moles at the end. I have a thing for large, oversized, extremely destructive animals, and just the origins of earthbending is kind of interesting too. So again, not the most impactful by any means on this list, but a fun episode at a minimum.
This list is, I don't know where it comes in on my ranking. I know it's probably nowhere in the top 10 if I had to guess. But it's fine episode. It's very memorable. Secret Tunnel. Every Avatar fan can yell that out, and it's I'm sure everyone will join them.
Most people are gonna figure it out, right? Figure out what you're going for there. I don't remember where you had it on your list, but you did have a big log jam in your middle, so it could be like a point away from being in your top 6 or 7, and a point away from being in your bottom 5. Which, hey, that's just a testament to the quality of the season overall, I suppose. Sounds like a good thing.
Number 3 for me is Zuko alone. It's such great Zuko character development here. I don't see why you don't love this episode.
I didn't have it scored as low as we probably are thinking.
Yeah, but man, like the crap that Zuko goes through, and also I love that this episode really covers just war and what it does to people, and how people view different people. Because Zuko helps out that village, but they still don't want his help, and I completely buy into why they don't want his help, because he is the son of the Fire Lord, who is pushing this war.
Not the weak movie Fire Lord, but the actual one. Like, it's a scary thing, not a...
Yeah, exactly. Zuko it's just so much... He's just Zuko alone. It's an episode that just completely informs the character of Zuko. Also, we learn even more about his past, about what happened to his mother, because before this you don't really think about the mother all that much, but you learn even more about her. You learn about the Fire Nation politics and everything, and how Ozai rose to power. You also learn even more about Iroh. So just lots of great stuff happening in that episode for me. That one got also like a 9.15 out of 10.
The ending of that episode is probably one of the deeper, more real life, deeper moments in the entire show. Like just that conflict of this guy clearly did just help us, but how would you respond? And we had the discussion of like, even we would like to think of ourselves pretty good people, but you almost feel obligated to respond exactly like that town did. Yeah. I don't hate this episode. I just give Zuko a hard time because he brings most of his problems on himself by way of being a teenager is about what it amounts to. I still had it rated fairly high. It's easily in my top 10, just not my top 5.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I just like to make fun of Zuko.
You just don't like it the way you should like it.
I just appreciate humor more than teenage angst.
Clearly, the cave of two lovers.
I could sing you that full song right now, and I'm not going to because your children are asleep, but I could. Whatever. Zuko alone is a really impactful, strong, and relatably or realistically deep episode, especially by cartoon standards. Yeah. My number 3, I gotta look over here. My number 3 was the Guru, which I already kind of mentioned. And my liking for the Guru broke the tie from Chris's Guru and Crossroads of Destiny. And what I like most about the Guru on a superficial level is it's probably the most visually interesting episode since the finale of season 1. Like, I think it's the most visually interesting episode in season 2.
Yeah.
I won't say by a mile, but it's so memorable in some of the different visual things that happen in that episode. And it's such an interesting story, and there's so many different things happening all at once. It's a great episode. I'm a little surprised that we both didn't have it a hair higher, but again, just a testament to overall quality.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I have it higher than you. For some reason, I think maybe I just like the season more than you, because I have it at 9.1, you have a 9.05. So
across the board, my scores on the whole season were a hair lower. Not dramatically, but across the board, they were all a hair lower.
Yeah.
That might manifest itself in an argument someday. That'll be fun to talk about.
I think we'll just physically fight.
That's why we don't get together in the same basement ever. It's got to keep our distance.
Shawn objectively knocked out Chris. I was being generous there, giving you the knockout.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I control the keyboard, man. I'll stop this whenever I want.
That's true.
It's true tyranny.
Man, you're in my house. I could shoot you.
That's true. I think it's legal here.
Yeah.
We're in Kansas. I think it's fair. I think it's okay here. I don't remember.
What'd you shoot him for? He disagreed with me on the children's show.
No, it's like, what'd you shoot him for? It's book 2 is so much better than book 3.
Officer.
Yeah, right. Then you bring it back down to a respectful tone after you flip the table.
All right. My number 2 is the Tales of Ba Sing Se, and really, you could just say the Tale of Iroh. and that's really what.
If we were ranking just on that, my rankings would look much different. If you were looking just at that story,
I mean, that stuff was just so powerful to me. Like, oh man, Leaves from the Vine is just so good. Like that whole story of Iroh. Like you start off, you think it's just a regular day in Iroh's life, and then you figure out that it's actually the anniversary of his son's death, or is his son's birthday. It's his son's birthday. He says, "Happy birthday, my son." That's right. And then he sings that song. It's just so many great things was done in that episode. You can't say anything, really bad about Iroh's part. I think Aang's part is probably the worst aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then everyone else's is good to great. I think the Toph Katara one is pretty great. And then Iroh's just like skyrocket way up there.
If I can chime in just because I don't have it on my list, spoiler alert, but I do want to talk. I really, I wouldn't change a thing. If you could just rate Iroh's, that'd be great. And I actually prefer Appa's to, not that Toph and Katara's is bad, but I like seeing the interim. I like seeing all the things that happen in there. That's very interesting to me, and that's a good one. Honestly, the other ones I could do without, and that hinders my memory of the episode. But it's so much worth watching just to get in touch with the best character in the show, in my humble opinion.
Probably the best character. Got to do a list on that one day.
That'll be a fun list too.
Well, I have the best female characters. I got to do a best guy character at some point, or I'll be Setsus. So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
And then best overall character, well, I'll just another fight waiting to happen.
Oh yeah.
We all know that Appa's the real best character here.
True. I didn't. Yeah. Maybe should I?
Does he count as a character? I don't know.
I didn't put Naga on the girls list. So Naga's a girl. So
that's true. We'd have to. Got to play it fair.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. You're number 2.
Crossroads of Destiny. All the things that you said. It's not as good as the season 1 finale. Recall that season 1 finale did have 2 full episodes to work with, but we mentioned several times that it kind of feels like the last 4 episodes of season 2 sort of feel like they all go together in a finale. But in the end, it actually does not. So it's not that good, but it's an extremely high standard. Crossroads of Destiny is extremely exciting. It doesn't have the same... You don't feel as confident going into season 3 as you did coming into season 2, coming off the big victory, so to speak. Yeah. And so, obviously, that adds to the drama and the tension. It just lacks some of the excitement of this finale of season 1. But long story short, it's still the number 2 episode on my list. I give it 9.2, and it's just extremely memorable and leaves you probably more curious than at any other point you would be in the entire series as to what's going to happen next.
Yeah. On to the number 1 spot, and we don't even have to separate this because we have the same number 1. It is Lake Laogai. And I have to say, going into the season, I didn't expect that to be... Like, I've always loved the episode, but I don't think I've really just put into my head, like, yeah, this is the best episode. And it really feels like a finale. I
always would have just presumed the finale would be my favorite, because it is good. It's not... If it's a bad finale, maybe you just... Oh, the finale's going to be my favorite. No, same way. I never would have pictured it as being my top. But it is. It's so exciting from beginning to end. It feels like... they're going to kind of wonder what's going to happen after that in the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think so many plot lines come to a conclusion there. You have the Jet plot line, comes to a pretty quick conclusion. No more
I'm
Jet.
Not happy about it.
And then the Appa storyline, finally, after so many misdirects.
So relieving.
Yeah, like it, and that's what made it really feel like a season finale, because this whole season, most of it was about getting Appa back. It wasn't necessarily about telling the Earth King about Day of Black Sun and all those things. Sure, that was one of the reasons why they went to Ba Sing Se, but it was all about Appa. Appa was that piece that was missing from Team Avatar. So that felt a lot like the season finale. Also, there was the action. I love that action scene so much. It felt like Team Avatar at full strength. And yeah, I just absolutely love that. Just so many great things happening in that episode.
The Appa storyline is like the season within the season. It's the majority of the season, really, and the majority of the important, interesting things are in the Appa is missing storyline, that you kind of lose sight of the little beginning and the little end on either side of that. And that's probably fine. Like, again, that's the important part that happens here. I think it's just so many gratifying things here. Getting Appa back, you get to see the douchebag taken care of finally. What's his name? Longfang.
I thought you were saying Jet.
Oh, what? I'm not that mean, but yeah, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. And then it's again just so many gratifying things all coming together in one spot. It feels like it should be 2 or 3 episodes also, but no, it's all jam-packed. But not movie jam-packed, just like regular good TV episode jam-packed into one place.
Oh, and then I cannot go without saying this. Iroh's speech to Zuko, like, he freaking just tries to just literally smack some sense into Zuko. Not literally, I hate saying. Anyway, he just tries to smack sense into Zuko, just like, I'm begging you, Prince Zuko. Like,
it's tear-worthy.
Yeah, he's just trying to reach out. Like, this is his last. Like, there's no more soft Iroh. Like, he has to be hard with Zuko, because apparently Zuko's not getting it after all this time.
How can you seeing Zuko put Iroh through all this trauma is like, that just makes me hate Zuko more. Like, why would you do that? Look at him.
Why would you do that to your uncle Zuko?
But is the best part just the mere fact of, like, Zuko goes through all the trouble to get down into Lake Laogai, and then Iroh just appears there, and you're just like, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Iroh is so freaking skilled.
He's not gonna struggle to get past any of those clowns.
You guys go all covert and everything.
That is great.
But yeah, Lake Laogai is so good, and it ends on a really somber note. Like, Jet dies. Like, Katara.
Really somber is probably an exaggeration.
Really
but whatever, it's fine. That spirit water.
She didn't use that spirit water on him
because she knew she'd need it later.
Yeah.
The mere fact that she is offering to use it on Zuko later is more frustrating than the fact that she didn't use it on Jet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's the more frustrating part. What a great episode, though. And to not be the finale is just, it doesn't mean anything other than it's just a nice surprise, I suppose.
Yeah. No, like I said, I'm surprised Lake Loud Guy is the number one, and I firmly hold it there. Like it really is that amazing. And I think even the creators thing is really amazing because listen to the commentary. They were saying like, yeah, we just come off of Lake Loud Guy, and like we feel like, yeah, this was like one of our favorite episodes.
And when you think about the third season, like if we count the finale all as one episode, is that really even going to be fair as to picking your favorite one?
Yeah.
So we'll have to think about that one differently, or we'll just end off how you're supposed to end.
Yeah, like Lake Loud Guy does so much with 22 minutes.
Yeah, there you can compare that to the season 1 finale, which is amazing. But again,
2 episodes. You
get 45 minutes. That's literally double your time to tell an admittedly very great story. This does it all in 22 minutes. And it does a lot more storylines in 22 minutes than, especially the finale of season 1, especially the finale of season 2.
Yeah, we mentioned before that Zuko's really only in the episode for about maybe 5 minutes, but there's so much happening with this character development that it feels like he takes up a good portion of the episode. Then you watch it and you forget, like, oh no, he's only in there a little bit. It
is the most critical 5 minutes of Zuko's existence in the series to this point. And I'm pretty comfortable saying that. Yeah. Iroh, you hang in there, buddy. You just keep fighting the good fight, even if your nephew's a douchebag. Whatever, at least Longfang's gone. That makes me happy.
Oh, not at that point. Not like Lao Guy.
Oh, is he the next?
Yeah. Earth King.
You're right. No.
Well, then technically it's actually Crossroads of Destiny, I think.
But when he actually gets...
Yeah, like just... I don't know what happened.
He gets disposed of at the end of the Crossroads of Destiny, right?
Place him in jail. She probably thought he was so little of a threat that she's like, you know what? I'll let you go. You mean so little to me.
But then Lake Loud Guy, doesn't he at least just get like batted out of the way by Appa's tail? That's Lake Loud Guy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and but so that's he's still present, but no,
you're like beat.
You're absolutely right, but it just feels really good to see him physically beaten.
Yes.
I believe that's called Schadenfreude. You get happy at other people's misfortunes. Yeah, that's what I feel when I see him get hit by a giant tail.
But yeah, so that's our top 5.
It is a great season. It's probably the second best season in this series. No, it's a fantastic season. Top to bottom, it's probably going to be the fullest season. I think that's an agreement we'll all come to, is that top to bottom, it's probably like the fullest, jam-packed of no fillery nonsense. I'm not saying I think it's the best by any means. But our rankings, our ratings very much demonstrate that. There's huge log jams in the middle. I was going to point out, just for fun, the biggest difference we had on any episode was that you thought very highly of the desert, and that's not one that I liked very much. So I was going to see if you wanted to chime in on that one at all.
I mean, that end there is really about the end there. Although I love a lot of the story aspects of Katara. It was a really strong Katara episode because she really held that team together. Like could you imagine the Katara from the movie doing that?
She'd be halfway into tears the entire time.
Yeah.
And never once even remotely resolute or interesting.
And then the end there, we're up with Aang and in the Avatar state. Like, he's the most powerful being, and he's crying in Katara's arms. Like, how pissed off he is. Like, just he goes in different voices. Like, just tell me where Appa is. Like, it's really epic, and it forms the character of Katara. Just a lot of great things there.
I didn't care for that's literally 30 seconds of the episode, and there is some good lead up, and there's that one's got some good Toph and Sokka humor in it as well. And Katara, it's sort of an emotionally distressing episode, and it's supposed to be, just not my style of episode. I should have looked the other way to see which one I had rated way higher than yours. I would guess it's probably going to be like the Blind Bandit or the Cave of Two Lovers. Probably Cave of Two Lovers. Which I'll still defend just because it's so memorable and so much fun. I will, maybe next year's Comic-Con, if I can't find a generic green hoodie and blonde hair dye, I'll go as the hippie from the Cave of Two Lovers with a little ukulele. And that's season 2. Any closing remarks?
No, great season. I'm sure we'll have a video about the 5 worst episodes of season 2.
Yeah, we should. That one might be weirdly more interesting just because of the logjam of quality. That one actually might be, or more, not more interesting, maybe just more surprising as to what ultimately lands down there that we maybe wouldn't have expected, because it'll still be a good episode and it'll be in the bottom 5. It'll be fun. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it sometime.
Yeah. Oh, great episode.
Yeah. In the meantime, happy holidays, whatever holidays you care to celebrate. I hope you have great ones. Let us know your favorite episodes and your least favorite episodes in the comments. And we're looking forward to season 3. We might have 1 or 2 more things that we do in between here and there. But season 3 is right around the corner. And then it's going to be perfect. We're going to finish up and then, the live action series won't be ready yet. But
yeah, Legend of Korra. And then about that time, I think live action series will be ready somewhere around there.
We'll plot out Legend of Korra exactly. We'll make sure that we land it so that we hit the live action series right when it goes live. Which, keep an eye on that, and we'll keep you posted if we hear any news. I don't think I have anything recently, but if we hear any news in between this and posting, I'll probably edit it in right here. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a pleasure, and season 2 was fantastic. See you later.